Chapter 58. Cameron. I braced myself as the elevator slowed down and prayed that it wouldn't bounce me with a hard stop. Rolling into the elevator jostled the chair and reminded me that despite the fentanyl, I still had a broken hip and wrist. We exited into a prep area of the hospital kitchen that was as silent as it was empty. "Right this way," said the nurse who'd led us to the elevator. "It looks like everyone is out in the serving area." She grinned at me. "They're going to be so excited to see you." Alex steered me toward a pair of swinging doors. Two rectangular windows offered a glimpse of the crowd waiting for us. It was mostly kids, with a few adults scattered among them. Perfect. "Are you ready?" she asked, holding her hand against a door. The elevator closed behind us, hopefully on its way up to get Aaron and Natalie. It's a good sign Jason wasn't with them. Maybe he won't get here before I'm done. But I won't finish if I don't get started. "I'm ready." She pushed both doors open, and we entered the serving area. Most of the crowd filled the dining area and faced the glass entrance doors. The smell of pizza and French fries seemed out of place, since no one here was interested in eating, except me. "Alex, can you find me a piece of pizza?" "What, you want pizza now?" "I just miraculously cured several hundred kids and I'm about to do it again. Doesn't that earn me some pizza?" He grinned at me. "Sure, can I have a piece too?" "Absolutely." He left me and ran around to the back of the serving line, searching for the baked treat. "They have cheese and pepperoni. Which do you want?" "Pepperoni." He reached in and grabbed 2 slices and dropped them onto paper plates. I used my good arm to lift it and take a bite. The hot cheese stretched away from my mouth and landed on my shirt with a splat. Red sauce dripped next to it and made a proper mess. "Oh, it got all over you," said the nurse. "Let me clean you up." She found some towels and wiped it as best she could. I finished the rest of the pizza and then rested my head against the back of the chair. "That was a great idea," said Alex. "I love pizza." I raised my palm toward him and he slapped it with his. "Me too, buddy. Now, are you ready to do this?" "Yep." "Then get me out there." He moved me toward the crowd, who had now taken some interest in the old guy in a wheelchair moving toward them. When we cleared the metal serving stations, I found Hans Albrecht standing guard by the door. A police officer shifted back and forth on his feet just outside the entrance. Nuts, Jason made it here. "Dr. Turner, you made it!" shouted Hans. His loud voice turned heads toward him to see who was talking, and then followed his gaze toward me. The room erupted in chatter once Hans identified me. People stood and rushed toward us, but Hans had expected that and beat them to me. Back up, he said. "Let's make a line and do this the right way." I felt bad for Hans. He must not have any kids, or at least young ones anymore. The few adults in the room were just as excited as the kids, and the entire group pressed forward at once. I raised my left arm and healed who I could reach. Hans adapted to the scene and took a position next to me, escorting people back toward the main area to make room for more. Sharp pain rocked my right side as children bumped into the chair and ground the broken bones against each other in my wrist and hip. I grunted and tried to block the pain. Hans must have noticed, because he shifted around and stood guard over my right side. He motioned for the other doctors to move forward, and the 4 made a small fence around me, while still allowing the children past as quickly as possible. We worked through the patients for several minutes, and then I realized something. My hip and arm didn't hurt anymore. The aging process must have sped up the healing process. I couldn't move them, but at least they didn't hurt. "Hello, Dr. Turner." I looked up to see who'd said that to me, and recognized her immediately. Violet's mother stood near me, holding her daughter in her arms. The faint yellow tint of her eyes now glowed brightly, and her abdomen seemed larger than it was before. She was losing her own battle against coping with her daughter's disease. "Oh, you got my message. Wonderful. Bring her to me." I placed my left hand on both of them. "I will restore you to health and heal your wounds, for the old order of things is passing away." She closed her eyes and cried. You've done what no one else could. Thank you for healing her." "You're welcome. But God didn't just heal her, He healed you as well." "But how did you—" I raised my hand to silence her. "We see it all the time. Perhaps now you can help others in the same situation." She dipped her knees in an awkward curtsy. "I will. I absolutely will. Thank you." She shifted her gaze toward Violet, now sitting upright in her mother's arms. "Let's go to the park. I think you're going to love it there." She turned to leave, but Violet tapped her on the arm. "Wait." Violet stretched her fist out toward me. Her mother bent her down so she could give me a solid fist bump. Our first one in years. And the first one with me as the weaker side. Music started from the right side of the dining area. A man played the guitar on the small stage while his child danced in front of him. I recognized the little guy. I'd healed him of some sort of skin condition a few minutes ago. Maybe pemphigoid? Who knows? ER doctors and rashes don't get along well. He spun in circles and rubbed his hands across the areas that used to be covered in wounds. I recognized the song after a few chords and smiled to myself. Amazing Grace. Perfect. Jason seemed miserable. The more people I healed, the angrier he looked. When the music started, he pushed forward off the wall and then straightened up suddenly with his left leg stuck out to his side. I laughed as a passing visitor of mine handed him a walker that they no longer needed. He shook his head, but accepted it, and continued moving toward me. "Hans," I said, "see that cop making his way over? Let him through." A woman's beautiful voice rose over the guitar and echoed through the room. "I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see." I recognized her as well. Her voice sounded more confident than when she'd thanked me for healing her son's cancer. Her smile pulled her eyes closed as she tilted her head back toward heaven and sang from her soul. The crowd continued to inch toward me. Its smaller size made the movements come faster. I tried to look at the next person coming, but my head wouldn't lift off my chest. I could see tiny, stockinged feet in large black medical shoes and ankles supported by braces. I tried to lift my arm toward her, but like my head, it wouldn't move. I closed my eyes and tried again. "Let me help." My arm rose as I heard the wonderful sound of Aaron's voice behind me. He raised my arm out so I could touch the girl, and then he held my head up so I could see her. I said the words, but they came out as a whisper. My strength was failing. "Keep going, Dad. God's in charge. Just do what you can." Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. I felt those words in my core. I felt like God was leading me home right now. "Aaron, come around front. Let me see you." He obeyed and kneeled down in front of me. The other doctors turned to watch. "I love you, son. God has great things in store for you and the entire world. Now, let's finish this." I closed my eyes and allowed Aaron to move me as he saw fit. I spoke the words as long as I could. When my words ceased, Aaron's started and didn't stop. I loved him, and Addison, and you too, Sarah. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed.